guys, it's Angelo, and with Battle for Azeroth not even a month away anymore, today we're having a second review of the Discipline Priest in World of Warcraft's upcoming expansion. In comparison to the Shadow Priest, the Discipline Priest remained relatively unchanged, with only a few spells being removed, while some gameplay mechanics have made space for new ones, the best example being that Power Word Shield effectively takes back the gameplay mechanic which previously belonged to Plea, but more on that in just a moment. If you would like to see an overview of all of the early changes of the Discipline Priest in Battle for Azeroth, be sure to watch my first look video. The link should be on the top right side of your screen now, and there you can review every detailed spell change for yourself. In this video, we'll cover how the spec feels, how it plays, where it excels at, and, if so, where the gameplay could use some improvement. If you want to join the discussion about all things Priest, be sure to join our Discord server, where priests from all around World of Warcraft share their thoughts and ideas. Now, of course, without any further ado, let's go right ahead and have a look. Let's start off with talking about a quick and brief rundown on what has changed when it comes to the gameplay. Plea, one of the ways we were previously able to apply Atonement to a target, has been removed. Atonement is now applied using either Shadow Mend, Power Word Radiance, or Power Word Shield. In direct connection to this change, Power Word Shield has been reverted to its form in Warlords of Draenor, however, not as strong as it was back then. Power Word Shield has no cooldown now, has a relatively low base mana cost, and can therefore be applied to any target the same way that Plea previously could. In comparison, the Absorb Shield that a player receives from Power Word Shield has remained the same as in Legion, perhaps a little bit stronger, but again, even though the playstyle of the spell reverts back to Warlords of Draenor, its effectiveness cannot be compared as it is a lot weaker. This, however, is a good thing, as it definitely brings the gameplay idea of the Discipline Priest to shine, and, with the removal of Plea, removes a lot of clumsiness from the spec. In terms of difficulty, the new Disc Priest is a lot more straightforward than it had been in Legion, and should definitely be more appealing to new players, or Holy Priest mains who'd previously hate playing Discipline Priest. For Discipline mains, or rather just Discipline players from the past who had been a Disc in Legion, the changes are honestly very stress relieving if anything, though making things simpler always comes at the cost of making things a bit more boring to a certain degree. Our DPS rotation is still limited to Shadow Word Pain, Penance, Shadow Fiend, and Smite, and what's also important to keep in mind is that our artifact ability, Light's Wrath, has been removed along with the entire artifact. Some talents have also been removed, while others are now in a new talent row. Or rather a new entire talent row, because the entire level 60 row is now found in the level 45 row, while the level 45 row is now in the level 60 row, with Psychic Voice getting a cool new icon. Sins of the Many is a new talent in the level 75 row, replacing Sanctuary, and Contrition is also a new talent in that row, replacing Clarity of Will. The level 90 row has remained unchanged, and the level 100 row sees Lenience, a new talent, in place of Power Infusion, and Luminous Barrier, also new, in the slot where formerly Grace had its place. Many, if not all of these talents changes and new talents attribute to the playstyle of the Discipline Priest very nicely, and the amount of possibilities and gameplay choices the player can now decide upon is definitely a lot greater than it used to be in Legion. Now let's talk about how the new Discipline Priest feels when playing. The truth is, if you've played Disc in Legion, you won't notice big differences at all. As previously mentioned, some gameplay mechanics have simply been made easier to apply in any given healing or combat situations, while new talents, most of them being passive ones, are either quality of life talents or buffs to certain aspects of the Discipline Priest's toolkit. Now, no talents really change the playstyle now, which personally I find very pleasing, but obviously this may not be very well received by everyone. What the Discipline Priest is good at has also remained mostly the same. However, the Disc is now, or rather the Disc Priest's ability to do massive AoE healing has now been watered down a little, especially since our artifact ability, Light's Wrath, along with all of the artifact traits, have been removed. In a single target situation or a 5-man dungeon group, the Discipline Priest is still incredibly strong, so most Discipline Priests should not feel uncomfortable in battle for Azeroth. The only thing I'd honestly like to see changed for the Disc is Purge the Wicked, a level 90 talent which replaces Shadow Word Pain. Purge the Wicked will spread to 1 extra target if a target that is dotted with Purge the Wicked is hit with the Discipline Priest's Penance. It'd be a lot nicer, and it would definitely help in a group healing situation if Purge the Wicked would jump to 2 extra targets, in my opinion. As Purge the Wicked is effectively only a heart for each player with Atonement, it'd be a lot nicer to smooth out incoming damage spikes with spreading more hearts onto more targets, or rather with easier means of spreading Purge the Wicked onto 3 or more enemies, especially in the early Battle for Azeroth stages where some damage spikes will definitely still hit pretty hard. Most trash groups in Battle for Azeroth are medium to large in size, with the amount of 2 target groups or single mobs in a dungeon able to be counted off on pretty much 2 hands really. Apart from this, I honestly have nothing bad to say about the spec at all. It feels smooth, plays very logically and plausible, and offers a lot of good gameplay choices to the player. I'm definitely interested in seeing how the Discipline Priest will perform with better gear, especially once players will start pairing interesting Azerite traits with certain talents, or will figure out where certain talents can shine a lot brighter than perhaps others. Let me know what you guys think. Have you had the chance to play the Discipline Priest on the BFA beta, and if so, what are your thoughts and what would you like to see changed? Be sure to let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you'd like to see more of my content in the future, feel free to subscribe. A special thanks as always to all patrons over at Patreon, and I hope that every one of you guys watching is as excited for Battle for Azeroth as I am. Have a good one, my friends, and I will see you all in the next one.